And this is a mystery box.
Or the mystery box.
What's in the box?
Mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Okay, we're back again with another video, the Old Man's Collection. This is the collection that my sister packed up and shipped from Minnesota to Seattle. These are all my dad's comic books. This is box 3 that we've been opening the past couple videos, and we found a really eclectic mix of independent garbage that I probably bought in some sort of giant, multi-pack of comic books. The old stuff that my dad collected a long time ago, and some modern stuff that he bought at a recent comic book convention in Seattle when he came out to visit. So there you go. You're all set up. We're going to kick off again, and it looks like... Okay, so we've got... This must be some more of that stuff that he bought at the collection. And it looks like it's all kind of mixed in, so we'll see a little bit of different stuff. But we've got the Black Widow, Lone Ranger and Green Hornet. Here's Doctor Strange. This looks like Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron's run on Doctor Strange. Big fan of Jason Aaron. An annual, Daredevil. Some Red Sonja. Now it looks like, okay, so Ghost Rider, the Eater of Souls. Here's an old Incredible Hulk. Some of that indie stuff. I think this all must have got mixed up as my sister Martha was packing it and preparing it for shipment. Some of these I'm not reading the name because I can't, because they're independent and they don't know how to design. Highlander. Neat. Hickey, Rex, Libris, Poison Elves. Again, that's another one. I've heard the name somewhere. I don't know why. Ooh, Starship Troopers. I love how kind of schlocky these Starship Troopers things can be. This one looks banged up, but it doesn't really matter because I imagine that the reason you would read this is just to see mayhem. King of Fighters, right? Is this a... Yeah, the King of Fighters. I think this is in the Japanese style, so you read it back to front. And here's where I was a little surprised. These are trade paperbacks. If you're interested in getting into comic books and you're kind of, put off by the sheer magnitude of trade floppies out there, trade paperbacks are a great way to get into it. These are books that collect the first 5 or 6 issues or something like that. And then you can see here, Volume 1. So Mark Waid's run on Daredevil was really great. Super interesting, really fun, a fantastic take on the character. And good enough that Marvel threw it in a trade paperback. So this is, just to be sure here, it's not going to tell me. Daredevil 1 through 6. And so if you like this, then you go out and you find Volume 2. And Volume 2 is going to be 7 through 12 or something like that. But this is a great way to read these stories and get into these characters. Here's another one, the trade paperback for Hawkeye. I think it was either the last episode or the episode before that. I really recommended getting this if you're interested at all in comic books. This was a great run by Matt Fraction. The art in here is really fantastic. Yeah, just a great... The color is really interesting. This would be a great comic book to get into. Here's another. This is going to be another Japanese style one. Looks like some werewolf stuff going on there. And then I saw this as I pulled these out. That's why I was getting ready to say this is another. God of Thunder, Jason Aaron, Asad Rivik, I don't know. Probably, in my opinion, the second best run on Thor ever, second only to Walt Simonson. I know people that think this is the best run, and I could see that. I could understand that. I could understand their thinking that. Just amazing. And this is interesting because this is hardcover. And you don't see that super awesome, so that should tell you a little bit about the quality of God of Thunder. Marvel thought it was good enough. They put it in a hardcover trade paperback. Okay, let's do some more. Unfortunately, it looks like more indie stuff. Devil May Cry. Evil Ernie, for some reason I remember that. The Science Fair. Avatar used to do a lot of like grabbing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Friday the 13th or that kind of thing. Something with more name recognition and then throwing out comic books like that, especially in the horror space. Because horror fans will consume lots of horror content. Oh, I'm having flashbacks to the Road Trip collection. This is awful. If it weren't for the trade paperbacks and some of the other stuff. Oh, we've got nipples. Elvira, that's kind of interesting. Ooh, so I've said before, the Predator and Aliens versus comics are a guilty pleasure of mine. Here we've got Batman versus the Predator. This is 3 of 3. It's in really bad shape. The cover is kind of bent. But it's Batman versus the Predator. What are you going to do? Okay. Oh, Gen 13. Here is a Deadpool comic book without the cover. So another unfortunate victim. I remember when they were doing this. These shows, these wedding shows, Angel and Buffy, were so popular that they went out and they printed comic books of the scripts. So this was an episode of Angel, and all they did was took the script and printed it as a comic book. Some might say cash grab, others might say shameless cash grab. Okay. Zombie Highway, Warlands, Shadowmancer, Robotica. Lots of cheesecake in the independent world. Because there's so much competition, they'll resort to anything to get you to buy their comic. And so, cheesecake. More and more cheesecake. Here's more of that Avatar horror stuff. Escape of the Living Dead. And another shameless Angel script book. You see they put effort in it though. They did little drawings in the script. So it's not totally shameless. Here's Blood Rain based on the video game. That wasn't very good. And, okay, we're back to Avengers, Spider-Man. This is J. Michael Straczynski and Romita Jr. That could be interesting. I don't have a lot of memory of Spider-Man back then, unfortunately. I just didn't know what was going on. Okay, the Magneto War, don't remember that at all. X-Men Annual, Inhumans. Wolverine Apocalypse, the 12. That looks like the Age of Apocalypse logo, but it's not. I know maybe this could be when Wolverine was Apocalypse's Horseman of War for a while. That could be what that is. Oh, you guys. This isn't a good one. Captain Marvel #1. Wolverine 122. I remember this. We didn't find anything interesting on this episode, and I apologize. They can't all be winners, I suppose. But I'll end on this. This one, I remember this really clearly. This was Generation X. The White Queen at one point, Emma Frost, she was the teacher of the Hellions, and the Hellions were sort of rivals of the New Mutants back in the 80s. And they all died, and I don't remember how they all died. It might have been the Marauders, it might have been Mr. Sinister, I can't remember, but it really traumatized her. But her whole character is this icy, frosty aloofness, and so she never really addressed the trauma. And then in this later issue of Generation X, it overwhelms her, and she psychically convinces the Generation X team that they are the Hellions. And it's sort of her trauma revisiting her. And it's not super interesting. This was a period of comic books where they really weren't doing much story-wise that was innovative or different. And the fact that this issue and this storyline stands out even, close to 20 years later is sort of a testament, I think, to its quality amidst everything else. And I think probably the only reason I'm addressing it this much is because the rest of that stack of comic books was absolute garbage. We found those trade paperbacks. That's nice. I'll encourage you all again, if you want to get into comic books, check out trade paperbacks, especially if you can find them in used bookstores. Sometimes you can find them like half off and stuff. Do that. Great way to get into comic books. Great way to support the industry. And right now with the pandemic and everything, the industry can use all the support it can get. So, yeah, consider that. That'll be it for this episode. We'll finish off box 3 in our next episode. And hopefully, hopefully we'll find some more interesting stuff, because this one is starting to make me think of that road trip collection, and I don't want to do that. Okay, that's it. We'll talk to you guys next time.